Hello, hello, can I please go vertigo? You join me from another part of my studio this week, the continental side of the studio, I call it. Um, Actually, left-hand drive BMW 5 E395 series are actually slightly more reliable than right-hand drive ones because of the straight six, where the exhaust manifold is. They had to redesign it for right-hand drive cars, and it cracks really easily, and you get loads of exhaust fumes into the cabin. I know this from experience. Thankfully, this one's okay. I think it might only affect post facelift cars when it has the Vanos. Could be wrong. Also did some sweet modifications. Some parts arrived online that I'd ordered. I'll put in a little bit of footage of me installing said mods. As you can see, it was a laborious job. Took a lot of time and effort and skill, most importantly. But it's good. It's good to get it done. It's something that's been in the back of my mind for a while since I got the car, so it's good to get that out of the way. If anyone wants any tips or pointers or any questions they have about doing this to their own car, feel free to just give me a shout and I'll run through it with you. Car news again, slow, because of said virus, which we will not speak of. But there was one shock piece of news. Excuse me. That's my name. That name again is. Shock piece of news. Ford. Don't ask me names. I'm not good at names, even when I know the people. So, but some head honcho from Ford Europe was interviewed again on Pistonheads, my favourite website. And he said it's very unlikely that there's going to be a Mark IV Focus RS. Ford were a little financially, I'm not going to say financial torment, because Ford will outlive some of us, most of us, all of us, to be honest. But their financial situation at the moment is a bit. They were very late to the game with EVs and hybrids and such. Plus now the dreaded virus. It's looking very unlikely that there will be a Mark IV Focus RS, which is a shame because it's the RS Focus is a brilliant car. Would I personally have one over the equivalent German stuff? Not too sure, but they've always been great cars. A mate of mine had a Mark I, which is just one of the best looking cars, and I drove around this estate very briefly, and it was enough for me to know like this thing is special. That was a lovely car. Caused me a little bit of torment, nothing unsurmountable, but it was a hand built low volume car, so go in with caution if you want one of them. The Mark II was just batshit crazy, and first time I saw one of them not long after they were launched was actually at the Dottinger Ho petrol station at the Nürburgring, filling up. It's one of the crazy, whatever they call the lizard green that they have for the Mark II Focus RS, and that thing was cool. Stuck by their guns and jammed loads of power to the front wheels and made it work. Then the most recent one, 5-door only, and didn't really have a wide stance on it to cut cost again, so it could just share all the same body shells as the normal Focus. But it went 4-wheel drive, now that drift mode and stuff, and again, I don't think I'd have one personally, but it seemed like a pretty cool car. But it doesn't look like it's going to be a fourth generation, which is a shame because the ST apparently is a great offering, from what I've read and seen online. But then again, maybe because the performance of the ST is high enough that that will satisfy. But it's one less rival for the next Golf War, which also actually was spied in pretty much final production version the other day. So I'll see if I can pull up some pictures of that. Doesn't look half bad. The Mark 8 is questionable design. The studio images and press release images don't do it justice. When you see, I haven't seen one in real life yet. I don't think it's actually been delivered to customers yet, but I've seen a few test cars in just normal mobile phone out in a car park pictures, and they look better. The GTI anyway. But the Aura looks like it might be nice. It's got big beefy brakes, and the sporty gubbins they've attached to it seem to have helped the design. So we'll see. But anyway, they'll have no RS Focus to deal with. So probably every rival for the Golf War will be in-house from Seat and Audi and such. Formula One again. I was going on about the videos that they full race video replays they put up on their YouTube channel. Yesterday they put up the 1996 Spanish Grand Prix, which is excellent if someone wants to watch some old Formula One. I won't give, if you want to watch it, I won't give a spoiler. If you know, you know. But if you haven't, it's just worth a watch. If you want to see Formula One cars moving around, which you don't often see in the modern era, although that was 24 years ago. Watch that. It's up on their YouTube channel amongst others. Obviously keeping up a tradition. Dig out a model car from my collection. From a brand. Of the three that I will have now done, two of them are from the same brand, and not a brand I have much affiliation to. I don't know if I'll ever own a Jaguar. Might do. They do appeal to me slightly, but they're not the top of my list. But they've done some cool shit. The XK180 I showed you in another video, and obviously the Jaguar XJ220. We could go on all day as to what is the most beautiful supercar / hypercar ever made. There's no real perfect answer to that, but this would definitely be on the short list. It's just so low and wide, and just looks like possibly the slipperiest shape ever made. I'm sure it's not, but it's probably not far off. Stuff like had active aero back in the day, and it was briefly the fastest car in the world until the McLaren F1 came on. I think it did 217 miles an hour. I think it was Martin Brundle doing it around Bruntingthorpe. So I think it's Martin Brundle. The video is out there somewhere. I tried to find it earlier and I couldn't find it, but this going around the bowl, trying to get the record, the top speed record. The windscreen wipers start heavily lifting off the windshield, and you can even see the bonnet is lifting off its mountings. But yeah, what a cool looking car. The lights, as you can see, are enclosed, but they're not pop up. The casing kind of flips round to release the headlights, which is quite cool. You can't really see it in the model, but the interior's just thrown together. I can't remember what motor show it was launched in the late 80s. I'm going to assume it was Geneva. And the concept was going to be a V12 all-wheel drive. People rushed to put deposits down. Then the economy went tits up. So to actually be able to build it, Jaguar reverted to two-wheel drive only, to the rear obviously. And instead of a V12, it ran a V6 from the Metro 604, the Group B rally car, which had plenty of punch, twin turbocharged beast. Just there was a lot of promise from the concept, which didn't come through to the production car. But as time passed, I don't think anyone really cares about that anymore. And it just looks so brilliant. There's a guy who keeps these going. I think it's him and his son, Don Law, I think is his name. You can look him up on YouTube too. It's a great video someone put out. Could have been Petrolicious or possibly The Drive. He keeps these going. He's the man to go to for XJ220s. But just cool. What a cool car. And yeah, again, going back to the Turn Your Car show where we got to see the XK 180. I think it was either like 2011 or 2012. The Jaguar Owners Club again, God bless them, got an XJ220 there, because until then I'd never seen one. There's not that many. They're not the rarest car in the world, but there's not loads of them. It was a silver one. So that's the Jag XJ220. I'm sure plenty of you will know about it, and if you don't, there it is. It was on the Grand Tour not so long ago. They did a great piece on it. Also, there's a transit van out there. Well, I say transit van. It's a transit body on an XJ220 floor pan and the engine and drivetrain. I'll see if I can find a video of that and put the link in the description, because that's quite a funny sight. So, just looking at my bookcase, and the bottom shelf of my bookcase is bookended by two books by a guy called Rainier W. Schlegmilch. I think that's how you pronounce his name. This one is Fascination Formula One Grand Prix, And what it is it's obviously it's a giant coffee table book of wonderful photography. Not all by him. Some of it's by him, but some of the earlier stuff is by other people, and there's other contributors. But it's it's photography from 69 to 93. So just pre the loss of Senna, and kind of when Formula One really started getting into its heyday. You could spend days, even weeks, just flicking through it. Just some just introductions to each section. It's broken into several different sections. It goes through chronologically at first, and then it goes through teams and drivers and such and technology. The sections get more and more questionable as you get near the back. There's one about team bosses and stuff, that's fine, and then marketing and stuff, fans. But there's one section in particular. My father would have bought this for me. He would have got it definitely from a second-hand shop or something. He actually didn't realise this was in it. Maybe he did. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there's a section just labelled women, and it's pictures of sexy ladies that attended Grand Prix. And as a teenage boy, I'm not ashamed to admit this, there was some boobies. Yeah, I don't know how much you get away with that now, but some of the pictures in here it's just stunning, and it's so comprehensive, and yeah, it's a great dive into the past. There's an updated version he did to coincide with 50 years of Formula One, which would have been in 2000, because we're 70 years this year. So as far as I'm aware, it's this, just with 7 more years in it. They're not cheap books. He's done loads of other stuff, El Rainier. So I have on my bookshelf, the bottom shelf is bookended by this one and the one he's done for Ferrari. It's all just exclusively about Ferrari. It's just about the road cars. So they're big books. So the weight of the books on my bookshelf has slowly broken the shelves off their fixings. So the bottom shelf, on top, the 2 books are resting the next shelf on them. I'm not trying to sound like I'm well read or anything. 80% of them are car or motorsport books. Mostly my dad. My dad used to go into second-hand shops and charity shops, and if he saw anything related to cars or motorsport, he picked it up for me. God bless him. These aren't cheap books. Brand new, I think you're looking at about 90, 100 quid plus sterling probably. But you will pick one up used for less than that. So if you're really into stuff, you will be looking through it for weeks. It is a worthy investment. My one came with 2 dust cover sheets, which is nice. But I recommend them. I said he does other stuff. He's done Ferrari. I think he has a Mercedes one. He definitely has a Porsche one as well. So if you're into that, if you're into photography and you're into cars and motorsport, I highly recommend. I think that's basically all I really had to talk about. There wasn't much going on as usual. But thanks for joining me again for my little rant about cars and motorsport to kill time during this time of isolation. I hope everyone is keeping well and safe. And if anyone isn't well or knows someone who isn't well or worst case scenario, you've lost someone. Look, my heart goes out to everyone, and you're in our thoughts. And God bless all the people out there working, especially healthcare workers. And obviously one thing that stood out to me today when I went and did my weekly shopping trip, people working in supermarkets, and everyone is out there still keeping things turning over, and putting themselves at risk. Fair play to us all, and we all appreciate it, and hopefully we'll all come out safe and drive on the other side. But anyway, have a good evening, everyone. I'm sure I'll be back at some point as we have another few weeks lockdown to go. God bless now.